welcoming everyone.
Okay.
We are introducing a brand new product for our photographers. It's called Realtor 3D. We partnered with Matterport, who actually provides the technology and the cameras. And what Jan is about to show you is how we've integrated the Matterport 3D into the Realtor platform. And with that, Jan, you can go ahead and show them how it works.
Okay, so it's pretty simple. This demo should probably take maybe 15 minutes or less. Basically, we have got what I'm going to call a phase 1, which is live right now, and you can use it right now. And we've got a phase 2, which is in development, but I hate to say this, but I think it should be done sort of end of this week, possibly early next week. So I'm going to show you phase 1 right now. We'll run through it front end, back end. And then when that's done, I'll just show you what's being worked on for phase 2, which is pretty simple. Okay, so bear with me because I'm going to jump back and forth as though I'm a photographer and then jump as though I'm an agent ordering photography. And Michael is going to be my photography guinea pig tonight. So he's got a fake demo account set up. So I'm going to start with him. So let's say you guys want to offer 3D. So I've logged into Michael's photography account and I just go into Pricing Manager right here. And right down here at the bottom of the Pricing Manager page, really small, is just this little section called 3D Photo Shoot Services. And how we're doing it right now in phase 1 is that you just put in a price per square foot, what you want to charge per square foot. So I'm not really familiar with what the going rate is out there on the market. I don't know if it's, I put in 10 cents, maybe it's 12 cents. I think one of our photographers, Dick Craig, is doing 14 cents a square foot, but that'll be up to you guys to sort of, check out the market and see what it's going for. So if you want to offer it right now, all you have to do is go into your pricing manager, put in the price per square foot. That's it, okay? So once you finish that, I'm going to log out of Michael's account now because he's set up. I'm going to log into my account. And let's say that I'm a real estate agent and I'm going to order a photo shoot. Okay, I'm going to create a new listing just so I can do everything nice and clean from scratch. And let's just call this 3D Shoot Street. Okay, and I have to be, to order from Michael, I have to be in, what is it, Parkwood, Washington, and 98361. Okay, so now I can order from Michael specifically. So I set up my listing, and I'm going to choose to order from Michael on Saturday. That's the day I want. Now, when I'm in here in Michael's pricing packages and stuff, I still need basic, like Michael said just a few minutes ago, I still need basic photos, right? Because I still need still imagery to go in my MLS and to go in my e-flyers, my print materials, all that stuff. So I'm just going to choose a basic package. And then I scroll down, and underneath the rest of the photography packages, I know, this is fake, guys. This is just a fake testing account, so just ignore. And then down here at the bottom, he went out of business. Anyway, so down here at the bottom, you'll see I've got 3D photo shoot. So in order to figure out how much it's going to cost per square footage, I have to put in how many square feet the house is. So let's say this house is 1,500 square feet. As soon as I type that in, this gets ticked and the price is calculated for me based on what I put in the back end. Plus, is it the $15 that we charge on top of that? So it's all auto calculated for you. So that's what it's going to cost me, okay? So I'm good to go with that. I hit continue, continue, add to my shopping cart, and that's it. So they order a photo shoot almost the exact same way they do now. They just enter in the square footage. And when they create their listing, if they had taken the time to enter the square footage in when they created the listing, then when they're on the order page, that square footage would have been pre-populated in there for them and the price would have been there for them. But not everybody takes the time. A lot of people order photo shoots when they're in a big rush, they're heading out the door, they just want to quickly enter the address and order. Okay, now I'm going to push this through.
Well, okay, I have a question.
Yep.
So if they don't know the square footage, they won't be able to order the 3D package, correct?
Well, a real estate agent who's got a new listing should know the square footage of his listing. That is one of the biggest things you should know about your property is the square footage. They might not have the exact number, but they're going to know they should know the difference between 2,000 square feet and 3,000 square feet.
And the better question, Mark, would be what happens if the real estate agent tries to cheat?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Like
Right.
let's say they say it's 2,000 square feet, and you get there and it's 3,500 square feet.
Yeah,
And
we
they say,
discussed
oh, you don't
that.
have to shoot that.
You have the ability within our system to give the real estate agent an extra fee email. So when you fill that out, it automatically goes in their shopping cart, and they have to pay it before you actually click the publish button.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say they have to. I mean, if they don't pay it, then you don't publish the virtual tour. I mean, that's your option. But we have the facility to give them an extra price. And as a 3D photographer, you need to know the square footage of the house you're shooting. What Dick Craig does in Houston is once he gets the address, he logs into a local facility, and all the square footages of all the houses are in that database. It's a public records website. I suspect it's probably available in all kinds of places throughout the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the easiest way to do it is find a local records company that tracks that kind of stuff, and just bookmark that website and just double check. And if it's not right, then you can just email the agent through our system and tell them that they've got an extra fee in their shopping cart that they have to pay.
So that's, like I know that extra fee, like if they're clicking on that order, they can put in the extra fee. Is that going to go, that extra fee is just a dollar amount, right? It's not going to go into the calculator.
That's right.
So then,
So if they've said that their listing is 1,500 square feet, in reality it's 2,000.
right. So then the photographer has to do
10 cents,
the math.
$50, and you just send them an invoice for $50.
Right. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have to kind of explain that to the photographers that are going to be doing this.
Yes.
That there's a discrepancy. I
Yep.
just want to be clear on that, so because
Mm-hmm.
I know that's going to come up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we discussed it
I
too.
suspect most real estate agents will put the right number in, but you know that there'll be a bunch that won't.
Yes. I do.
You
And
remember
the other
this.
thing we're going to do is
And I know I'm going to be the one fixing it.
we're going to pre-populate that field, that text field from the property listings description.
Yeah, I think that should, maybe we should rethink that on the 3D orders, that maybe that should be a required field.
Well, we can discuss it.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Mark. That's a good point. Because it's not a required field now, and
Yeah. I mean,
let's
That doesn't.
see how the 3D kind of works here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're kind of in a pilot phase right now in
yeah.
Dallas and in Houston.
Sorry,
And
I've
we're starting to
sidetracked
market
everybody.
3D.
Sorry.
If it does take off, then I think that might be a really good idea to.
Well, San Antonio seems to be using it. I mean, the guy at Keller Williams, Eric Thomas, says that all the people in his office are using it. He's doing it for them. So, I mean, I haven't verified that. I'll track down his office. I've got his information. So I'll track down his office. I'll find their listing.
It sounds like he's a salesman.
Well, no, he's an agent.
I
He's
know
a
that.
Keller Williams
I'm
agent.
just making a joke, Mark.
I know, but I'm saying, if
Okay.
San Antonio is already using them, then if we find a photographer in San Antonio that wants to do this, we already know there's a market that's already used to it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, let's get back to the demo because everyone's probably forgotten the first stuff I did. So let's just
Yeah.
finish the demo,
Sorry.
then we can have a discussion, okay? Okay, so just to recap, Michael set the pricing in his pricing manager. He put in, I can't remember, was it 10 cents a square foot? I went in as an agent and ordered a photo shoot from him, and I entered in my square footage, and it gave me a price, and I ordered it. Okay, now I'm logged in as Michael the photographer again. I'm going to check my shoot manager. Okay, and the day I ordered was for the 26th. So I go into the 26th, and there's my shoot street, 3D shoot street. Okay, so let's say I've gone out and I've done my photo shoot, okay? So I'm ready to upload my photos and I'm ready to upload my 3D into the back end of the client so the client can get it. I'm going to do this the exact same way you would upload still photography. You click on Manage Photos. Okay, I'm going to upload a couple still pictures because right now in our system, there has to be at least one still image in there for this to work. So let's just pick 2 pictures just for now, just to get it going so it doesn't take too long. Now, I don't know if that's something we can revisit, but like Michael said, basically an agent is going to need still photography as well. So they're probably going to order still pictures from you as well as 3D. So you'll notice with my tabs, I've got photos, panos, video, and ta-da, I have a 3D tab. So I've uploaded my still pictures. I'm ready to upload my 3D code. And this is what I get. I get a blank field that I can put the code in. And Michael's going to show you guys the Matterport side of things. So I don't know where you get the code from, but here's code I'm going to use for tonight. This is the code for the tour, for the 3D tour. So I'm just going to copy it from Word, which is where I have it, and I just paste it in here. And that's all I do. Once I've pasted it in there, another link has appeared here, okay? So my code is in the system. I have the option of starting the virtual tour with those still pictures. I can start with a video, but I don't have a video, or I can start with the 3D photo shoot. Let's start with the 3D photo shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, back to photos, and I publish the virtual tour, which is exactly how you do it now. Okay? Okay, close. Now I'm going to log back in as myself, the agent, and I'm going to check out my new virtual tour. Okay, so I'm going to go into virtual tours, and it'll be over here, and what did I call it? 3D Shoot Street. There it is. So I'm just going to click on this right now and watch it. Okay, so there's my still image. It still starts with a nice still image, so it looks good. And it immediately goes to the Matterport page. And I click on 3D Showcase. I'm going to make this big so we can see it better. Okay, it's loading the 3D space. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a bit slow because we're on webinar. Sometimes things on webinar don't run as smoothly, but so now I'm in the space. And I can navigate using my mouse. See how I'm moving around the house? Or I can use my arrow keys. I can also mouse over these little circles, and it will take me down the hall. Take me down the hall. Down the end of the hall.
Like Google Maps, like if you're in
Yeah.
Street View?
Yeah, exactly. You can click on these little circles, and it'll bring you into a room. Or I can just use my mouse and click anywhere I want and just move around the room. See how this is kind of nice? See how it's nicer than just a virtual tour, which is just still photography? And it's nicer than a video because I can control. I feel like I'm walking through the house.
And you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard.
Yeah, you can use your arrow keys on the keyboard. I can look up at the ceiling like that. I can look right down at the floor like that. I can spin around the room.
So this is a spatial 3D camera.
Yeah, isn't this amazing?
So
I'm just going to keep going through the house.
All the space, up and down, around, all around.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty nice. Like it feels like you're there. Like who's going to go to an open house when you can just do this?
This is a game-changing technology.
It's cool.
Janet, perhaps you can put the virtual tour link in the chat so that all the guys can click on it and view it themselves.
Yeah, then you can watch it. Yeah, because I don't know if it's as smooth when we're on a webinar. Like it's nice and smooth for me right now, so I'm going to put that in the chat right now.
It's jerky, Janet.
Oh, it's jerky. Okay, so if you guys want to click on it, I just put it in the chat window of, there's a little chat thing at the very bottom of your webinar GoToMeeting thingy. So if you want to watch it on your own computers, you'll see how it's beautifully smooth for me when I'm playing it. And then down here in the bottom left corner, you've also got, you can look at it as they call it the dollhouse. You can look at it this way. And you can also look at it as a floor plan like this, so you can get a good view. And then you can jump right back in. And if this was, one of the demos we had before had 2 floors, in which case over here on the right, there's like upstairs, downstairs. So you can navigate through the house and go up the stairs, down the stairs, or you could just click on the little button and it will take you right to the 2nd floor. But it's really fun to play around with. I don't know what it's like to do a shoot like this. I don't know if it's a total nightmare or if it takes a really long time. I don't think it does, though.
I have a bunch of links you guys can look at if you want.
Back in the dining room. But it's just...
And how do you exit this, Janet, to get back to?
Oh, so right here we've got exit 3D. Sorry, my little thing is in the way. So this little button, exit 3D, if you just exit that, it takes us right back to the virtual tour. And then I can just play the tour, and it'll just play the still images. I've only got a couple, but let's say I had, 20, a basic photo shoot, 20 or 30 pictures, they can also look at those. And when they stop the tour, they've got their little icons, and they can go back to 3D if they want to watch the 3D player again. Brings them right back in. So, and also, I'm going to exit out of here. I'm going to go back into, let me just minimize this. So just so I can see as an agent, if I need to get a hold of that code, I can go in, here's my tour, I can go into edit tour, and then on the virtual tour links page, this is what the back end of the virtual tour looks like. I've got a 3D tab right here. If I ever want to get the code. So there's the code again, the same code I copied and pasted. Here's also a link. I could just email a friend this link if I wanted to and say, hey, Bob, check out my tour. Or I can watch it in miniature right here as well, which is pretty cool. So that's how it all fits into our virtual tours. So you can see how easy it is and how amazing it is if you guys wanted to start offering this in addition to your still photography. I think it's a pretty nice selling feature for an agent to have. So that is basically the full demo for phase 1. Phase 2, the only difference is how the pricing is set up. Now this is what one of our IT guys is working on right now. So I'm on his dev site. So this doesn't work yet. But what he's done in the back end is he's just added a 3D per square foot column to every single one of your packages. So this way, people don't have to order a still package and a 3D package. They can just order still photography plus 3D. And if you want to offer that, like let's say your standard package is 20 pictures and you offer that for, I don't know, $99. And then your price per square foot is, what was it, 10 cents? There, 114 plus 3D. So it does the math for you, and you can add the 3D. You still have to have your 3D entered down here. Is that right, Michael? This is in development now, so I'm not entirely sure how this works.
Either or. 3D is like a la carte.
Okay. So you don't put the square foot, you must put it in here.
No, you just put the square footage price there. When the client goes to order, on the order form, there will be a field for square footage, and they just fill that in. And it will be multiplied by the number that's put in here.
Right, so the client will see the full price on their end. But the nice thing about this is that you can build your own little packages. You can build it into these. And also at the bottom, we're going to give you guys the ability to add more of these packages. So here's one. Our IT guy has added this, 3D. And then you can make your own little bundles. So he's got still pics and 3Ds. You could have photos, panels, aerials, video, and 3D. So you can have a whole new section on your pricing page that's just 3D. Or you can just add it onto these. So that's phase 2.
And he's also going to add a delete button here. So you can delete any of these packages that you don't want.
Yeah, that's something that we just were thinking about when we were in here, thinking, you know what, right now you can't get rid of these. If you accidentally have a column, sure, you can leave it to 0 so it doesn't show up, but wouldn't it be nice if you could just delete it, delete any of these rows, delete any of these packages?
Once you have everything set up.
Yeah, you can. That just gives you the ability to edit it as well as you go forward. I know I don't want to do Twilight anymore. I'm just going to get rid of it. Just delete it, Just keeps your back end nice and neat and tidy. So we're just doing a few extra features, and that'll be phase 2, and hopefully that should be coming out, I would say, if not by the end of this week, then early next week, I would say, once we test it and stuff. Yeah. So that concludes my demo.
I'm going to start putting my cat on webcam during these.
Why? Because it's more interesting?
Oh my God, she starts poking me under my chair. She reaches up and starts poking my side. She's now on the desk, sitting in front of the screen.
Oh, Mark, have you just posted a bunch of links here? Did you want me to click on some of these in the chat window?
Those are Eric Thomas's from San Antonio.
Oh, I'll click on one and we'll see what it looks like. So this is not hosted in one of our tours. This is just his.
Now that looks suspiciously like one of Dick Craig's. Does that look familiar?
Familiar? Yes. Although the one, it might just be that the house is very similar, all similar colors. It's pretty neat though.
That looks like the very first one that we saw.
It's not. The one that we saw had a great room with a big fireplace and 2 stories.
This has 2 stories and a little hallway that we kept getting stuck in. Remember?
I remember that hallway. But that hallway in his was bigger. This is so neat though, but if you guys get a chance, play around with this. It's really cool. I mean, if I was buying a house right now, I'd want to see this. Even before I go to the open house, I want to walk through the house like this. This is amazing. It's like being there.
As a photographer, one of the interesting phenomena about this is the technology is really, really useful for someone buying a house. The good thing for you is that you can charge an extra fee to do this. And the extra fee is significant. The way this works, you have to buy a 3D camera from Matterport. And the camera, I believe, is about $4,500. So it's a fairly expensive camera. And in addition to that, you need a fairly new iPad. And you simply put the software on the iPad. The camera does its thing. You put the camera down, does a spin, basically does a panorama. And then it loads the data into the iPad, and the iPad creates the panoramic image. And then you move the camera to another spot and you repeat it. So you do multiple spins within a house, and by the time you're done, all the files have been computed on your iPad, and you simply just need to upload it into Matterport to create what Jana is showing you right now. Todd, we have a photographer in Dallas, Todd Camp, who's been experimenting with the camera. He's bought one, and he's done a number of different shoots. And we also have a photographer in Houston, Dick Craig, who is doing this. And Todd is looking at around 11 to 12 cents a square foot, in addition to the charges he charges for a regular photo shoot. And if a house that he's shooting is 2,000 square feet, you're picking up an extra $220 for every shoot you do. So there's a significant amount of revenue that you can make here. And of course, the question is, will your client base order it from you? And right now we are doing some marketing in Dallas and in Houston, and we're going to answer that question over the course of the next few weeks, just to see if there's demand in those areas for it. Everyone that we have shown this technology to is absolutely impressed with it. And so my feeling on this is that it's probably going to become a major part of a real estate photographer's repertoire, and eventually you're all going to have to do this. Right now, the only person in the only player in the field is Matterport, and of course, over the course of the next few years, we'll have other developers that will be developing this in conjunction with Google, who built the technology originally. You'll have other hardware providers. So a lot more options will become available down the road for us. But right now, the only place we can get it is through Matterport. And Jen, I'm going to take the screen and show you the Matterport, show the photographers the Matterport interface.
Okay.
You also might want to talk about the time it takes to shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. As I said earlier, you need to do a number of different spins throughout the house, and every photographer is going to probably do different amounts of spins per house. Uh, um, I think they're guesstimating it might take about an hour and a half to do about a 2,000 square foot house. And I don't have really good information because we're still trying to figure all that stuff out. But right now, about an hour to an hour and a half is what Todd is guesstimating to do a shoot. So it takes a lot more time to do it, but you also get a lot more revenue. And you can see we're now looking at Matterport here. And I have the ability to add collaborators. So basically, if you elect to participate in the 3D technology, you can go in and buy your camera, and you can use the Realtor hosting facilities at Matterport. Rather than paying them yourself, just come through Realtor system, and Realtor pays that fee for you. I simply add you as a collaborator, and then you can simply come in here like Todd and Dick Craig have done, and you can use the Realtor facilities to create your own 3D productions. And you can see that Todd's got a number here, a number of different ones he's already set up. And when you go into each one here, you have the ability to get all your links, and the links that Jana just showed you, the embed link here is the one that you want to embed into the Realtor system. You simply get this and copy it and then paste it in the Realtor system, and that's all you need to do. And you can do all your editing here. I'm not going to get into that because I do it, but you simply launch the tool, download the utility, and you can do all your own editing right within the Matterport interface. So I'm going to open it up to the floor now. Any questions to either Janet or myself about the 3D technology?
I'm wondering about what you say, an extra hour and a half, an hour to an hour and a half shooting, but then you would have to add on the still photography as well, right?
Exactly.
That'd be simple. What
you would do there is you would still offer the same still photography packages that you currently have, and then you just have a 3D add-on.
Gotcha. Okay. And what is the editing process? How long does the editing process take? Do you know?
It happens on site. When you're doing the spins, you are loading the spins into your iPad.
Mm-hmm.
The processing takes place right there. So when you do one spin, you go to another location to do your second one, and if it doesn't work properly, an error message will be generated. If you get too far away, an error message is generated. So before you leave, you will have a complete editing function already processed.
So you just have to be really careful about how you do your placement of the camera.
And that's the trick.
Right.
Where you place the camera is going to give you really good productions or so-so productions.
Right.
And with Dick is doing about twice as many spins as Todd, and Todd is doing it twice as fast as Dick. And Todd is a very experienced Google photographer. So he understands the technology and where he needs to put the camera. So it's kind of second nature for Todd. So that's the process that will happen with all of you guys. Once you figure it out, you're going to know exactly where to put your camera to get best results, and that will speed up the whole process of 3D technology.
Wow.
And actually, this should really make sense for you guys that are already shooting still photography, because you know where to set your camera. So I know it doesn't make sense if you're thinking about it if you're doing a 360. But I started doing 360s, so for me this is second nature. But if you're thinking about a room and how to shoot a room, all you have to do is put yourself in the middle of the room, and that's it. And look for mirrors. You don't want your camera showing up in a mirror. That's it.
So you guys will figure it out. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. The initial cost, as I said, is $4,500 to get your camera. And I think that there's going to be a huge opportunity here for the people who do this first. We're going to market it for you. If you buy a 3D camera, we'll go into your particular area, and Janet and Amanda will create e-flyers for you, and we will market 3D technology to those areas for you. Any other questions?
You had talked about the computer as well. Are you going to need massive amounts of memory and storage space above and beyond?
No, it's all done on the iPad.
My thinking on that is, the only thing I know for sure is the newer iPads have much faster, better processors in them. So the whole processing thing is much better with the newer iPads.
The new ones have quad core.
I would get as much storage space as you can get. But once you do the processing and upload it to Matterport, then you don't need that stuff stored in your iPads anymore.
Wow.
So you need enough hard drive space or storage space on your iPads to do 1 day's worth of shoots. And if you're making $200 or $300 per shoot, it doesn't take very many to really make it worth your while.
Wow.
Especially if you're doing stills as well.
Yes, and as I said earlier, every real estate agent is going to require stills. You can't get away from it. They require it for their MLS, they require it for their flyers they make for their boxes in front of their house, flyers for inside the house. So the 3D technology is going to be an add-on to your current productions. The other thing about Matterport's 3D technology, they can't do exterior shots. It's only interior. So single shot photography is not going away anytime soon. So your real estate agents are going to order single shot photography in conjunction with a 3D order. All right, any other questions?
Get a drone.
All right, Janet, back to you, and you can just let everyone know that you'll send them the video of this podcast.
Okay, so that kind of wraps it up, guys. And yeah, I will process the video, and then I'll send everybody a link, and you can just watch this training session again if you want on YouTube.
Cool.
Eric, do you want to stay on with me for a minute after everybody leaves? Unmute yourself.
I can give you
All right,
control, Mark, if you want.
And thanks for joining us, guys, and
There we go.
hopefully
Sorry.
we'll see you all with 3D cameras shortly.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye,
Janet.
guys.
Okay, bye, guys. Oh, Mark, let me just stop recording. Are you the...
Yeah.
Okay.